When I say some of these clips should not belong on the internet, I genuinely mean it. I went down a very dark rabbit hole last night of many disturbing TikToks, and I brought them here today for us to watch them together. So please make sure you stick to the end, because the more you watch, the more uncomfortable and uneasy you will get. Before we get started, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That's enough yapping. Let's get into it.
They told you Valentine's Day was about love, but nobody ever asked who benefits from that story.
The rich
One day
people
a
benefit.
year where love suddenly needs proof, and somehow words stop being enough. If you don't buy something, if you don't plan something, it feels like you've already failed. Flowers, chocolates, dinners, gifts. Not because you want to, but because
you
you're
have
expected
to.
to.
Yeah, close enough.
And if you're alone, the silence gets louder, like the world is reminding you something's missing. Because loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's one of the most profitable emotions there is. So they sell you love in boxes, in dinners, in little red hearts, and call it meaning. But real love was never something you had to prove, and it was never supposed to come with a price tag.
All right, guys, I need your genuine opinion here. Valentine's Day was a couple days ago, and what this video said, I believe. Valentine's Day is a hallmark holiday, as they call it. Why should a specific day mean love? Why should love not be every day? Why does it have to fall on that specific day? And that happens to be where flowers sell out, restaurant reservations are out, everything is spend, spend, spend. But God forbid it be any other day, I can't take flowers that day. You shouldn't take me out to dinner that day. It has to be on Valentine's Day because I am told so. That is how it goes. You are told one thing, it's implanted in your brain, and just like that, it's another holiday you are forced to spend money. That's how the rich stay rich and we stay here.
Something I've noticed while going through the Epstein files, and I have gone through thousands of them at this point, is that Epstein seemed to love checker print. As you can see, this is an image that I found from his Manhattan townhouse where you can see checkered floors. You can see this is an image of the room that the checkered floors lead into. This is like a back room that's hidden away from the other rooms in the mansion. But it wasn't just at his home in New York. He also had checker print floors in his mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. This is from that investigation. But as you can see, checker print, and if you really look at the files, you will notice it all over the place. This is another room in the Palm Beach mansion, another room in the Palm Beach mansion. I mean, it's really all over. But why am I pointing this out? Well, I'm no crackpot conspiracy theorist. I like to only report on things that have factual evidence behind them. I don't like to sling out allegations. I don't like to frame the wrong people for the wrong things. However, it should be noted that checkered floors are a huge thing in Freemasonry and kind of esoteric occult thought. Now, I'm going to state this here, and some people are going to disagree with me, but not all Freemasons are bad. There are a lot of people that are unaware of the things that go on at the very tippity top, and Freemason texts are pretty interesting reads. However, if Epstein was into the occult, if he was into the esoteric, maybe if he was a Freemason, then him having these checkered floors installed at his properties would have been a huge thing for him. I mean, you can see in almost every picture of a Masonic temple or depiction of one, there are these checkered, black and white specifically, floors, just like the ones that you see at multiple of Epstein's properties. The checkered floors themselves actually have a pretty interesting meaning. They, at least from my interpretation, are meant to symbolize duality, like the light and the dark in life, the good and the bad, the struggle of good versus evil, and kind of the recognizing that there are two sides to every coin, two sides to every issue. There are polar opposites when it comes to every single thing in life. And yeah, we could talk about Freemasonry and the floors and everything for a long time, but Epstein definitely did have these floors in his houses. But what do you think? Was this a total coincidence, or do you think Epstein had these floors installed for a purpose? Let me know in the comments.
All right, let's take a quick pause. If you're still watching, it means a lot. Genuinely, thank you. While you're here and still watching, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around. Do not leave yet. I'm watching you. You better stick to the end because trust me, these get worse. A lot worse.
She tortured her for 12 days and then barbecued her like chicken. Sabrina Koider was obsessed with herself and believed that she deserved to be famous for doing nothing. Sabrina and Oysam Meduni had an on and off relationship. Sabrina cheated on Oysam nonstop and even beat and slapped him, but he always took her back. Sabrina and Oysam hired 21-year-old Sophie Leonette to be their live-in nanny and take care of their children. Sabrina was so self-obsessed and delusional that she believed her ex-boyfriend sent Sophie there to spy on them. Sabrina believed that Sophie was there to SA all of them and use black magic on them. None of this was true, by the way. For 12 days straight, Sabrina and Oysam tortured Sophie. They beat her with electrical cables, breaking her bones. They starved her, waterboarded her, and even drowned her, which unalived Sophie. The couple threw Sophie's body in a bonfire and started barbecuing chicken next to her. They even threw a few pieces of chicken on top of Sophie's body to make everything seem less suspicious. Neighbors began to notice a horrible smell coming from the fire, so they called the police. Firefighters noticed a human nose and human fingers inside the bonfire. The couple was sentenced to life in prison and must each serve a minimum of 30 years before they're even considered for parole. Sabrina did actually end up getting exactly what she wanted. She is famous now, but not because of her looks, but instead because of her evil, vile personality and actions. What do you guys think about this case?
What if you spent 7 days working alone in a lighthouse? Day 1. You arrive confident like this place is nothing. You walk inside the lighthouse like you own it. You start taking proud snaps. Then you try to send one, but there is no signal at all. And that's when the problem begins. Day 2. You start working the light through the silent night. Strange sounds echo like someone calling from below and footsteps climbing the stairs. You go down to check, but fear hits and you rush back upstairs. Day 3. Storm crashes in and the window shatters. You wake up and rush to the top as violent waves slam the tower and knock you down. Back inside, you sit frozen, wondering if the lighthouse will survive the night. Day 4. Welcome to the hallucination zone. You hear knocking at the door and freeze in fear. Hide under the bed while shadowy figures crawl closer. Then you run to escape, but the stairs just never end. Day 5. You're stuck eating the same noodles and bad coffee until frustration takes over. Then loneliness hits so hard, you start talking and laughing at your own reflection. Day 6. The light starts spinning out of control and frustration finally snaps. You smash it yourself, then collapse in the storm outside, lying in the rain like you've completely lost the fight inside your own head. Day 7. You panic and run because nobody is coming to save you. So you try escaping the ocean yourself, swimming into the dark like it's your only way out. But the sea doesn't care, and after all that effort, you end up just floating there like the world's worst.
This Baltimore hotel was a place where sailors came to die, and some people believe they never left. What's up? I'm Becca. I like to talk about ghosts, haunted places, and the things that people like to think aren't real. Today is day 2 of haunted hotels in Maryland, and today we are talking about the Admiral Fell Inn. Fell's Point dates back to the early 1700s. The Admiral Fell Inn is made up of 7 different buildings from that era. For centuries, sailors stayed here after long, brutal voyages at sea. Guests report seeing apparitions of sailors floating through the halls, knocking on doors in the middle of the night. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and known someone was at your door, but when you opened it, no one was there? People hear footsteps and lights flickering on and off. Clocks are known to go off at 3 a.m. And sometimes guests swear that they hear men singing. But the most unsettling place is room 413. Guests in that room say the energy is heavy and dark. People feel watched, touched, and unable to sleep. Some people refuse to stay the night once they step inside. So let me ask you, would you stay here overnight? And if you had no choice, would you dare sleep in room 413? If you've been here,
$1 million,
you've had an experience here, leave me a comment down below. I want to know. Make sure to check back for more haunted hotels in Maryland this week. See you back tomorrow and stay safe.
So apparently there was a Pokestop on Epstein's Island. Epstein had this sundial built on the island, and that's where the stop was, but it's since been reported and removed by Niantic. Apparently, these are the Pokemon that were showing up on Epstein's Island.
Jeffrey Epstein is the reason downloadable content and microtransactions ruin gaming. Why?
Wait, how? How the hell did he create that?
He was the one that came up with the idea, and it came out all in the Epstein files.
Yeah?
He was writing an email to the makers of Call of Duty talking about you have to start introducing microtransactions into these games.
Okay.
You'll be very profitable. That's why we have microtransactions today, and that's why gaming is ruined.
Oh,
This guy's the actual devil.
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
this guy's
why would he
actual
do that?
devil.
That means like
So they can make more
skins?
money.
Yeah, like
everything,
skins, like
everything.
guns and all that
Okay.
shit.
The maps, yeah.
DLC was him. Okay.
Microtransaction, everything was him.
Wait. So we wouldn't have Nuketown if it wasn't for Jeffrey
That's
Epstein. What I'm saying, bro. We wouldn't have Nuketown. Fortnite would not be a big game.
Fortnite would not be a big
Fortnite is
game
nothing without that.
Nah, but Nuketown came out like as a regular map, I swear.
No, it's DLC.
No, Black Ops. It's
Yeah,
not a real game.
He's right. He's right. No,
I got you. I got you. I got you.
So you're telling me Jeffrey Epstein is the reason why I had to buy V-Bucks to begin with? Or you're telling me Jeffrey Epstein is the specific reason on why I have to pay COD points to open up supply drops? Good to know. Very good to know. What else is this dude connected to?
Choose a slide. The one you go down decides where you'll stay for the next 7 days. Slide 1. Smile Care Lobby. An 80s dentist lobby for the Smile Care Corporation. The cloudy fish tank sits in the corner, completely empty. Stacks of cheap 80s magazines cover the tables. They repeat the same stories every time you read them. There's no food or water. The only way to survive is taking gum from the reception desk. Chewing it just about stops your mouth drying up. Behind the desk sits a plastic receptionist mannequin. She will call your name and will guide you down a hallway for your appointment. No one who follows her comes back. Slide 2. Joystick Hall. A bright 80s arcade glowing with colorful lights. Rows of machines stretch across the room. Every game has unlimited credits. Soda machines pour endless cola and fizzy drinks. Warm burgers and fries sit on tables. The air is cool and smells faintly of sugar and plastic. Soft booth seats make sleeping easy. Nothing here tries to hurt you.
If you don't push the number 7 again, Jeanette, I swear to God. Here we go. And it'll just keep coming. It'll just keep on coming. Jeanette Elizabeth, push the number 7 again, damn it.
Something strange is going on at this abandoned house in Plainfield, Illinois, and neighbors suspect it's human trafficking, is what I would say if I was either dumb or lying to you. I've been seeing this house all over social media with lights flickering SOS. People are constantly flooding the police lines calling about this place. Newsflash, buddy, houses do that. What, you'd never seen a house with flickering lights before? If someone was really inside this house, that would require them flickering the lights on and off for multiple days at a time. People have been saying this has been going on for weeks. So many people were complaining that the property owner had to come drive in here, there's tire tracks, and turn off the power. The police have came and went multiple times and said nobody is there. If you're saying the police are lying, genuinely, what reason do they have to lie about this? There's genuine human trafficking going on, and we have these low IQ conspiracy theories that are just going around the internet that are pushing down legitimate videos about human trafficking. Whenever there's a legit conspiracy going on, there's always these low IQ people flooding the internet with absolute BS. It takes away the legitimacy of things that are actually happening because of these people. Even if somebody was down there, you realize those lights would have to flicker using a machine. You'd have to actually build a machine to make those lights flicker in that certain way. You think somebody in the basement is going to build some kind of electrical component to make it do that? You have a house that's as plain as day right in the middle of everything. You would suspect you would see somebody there by now. I never want to see one of these videos again on the internet about this stupid house. Let's talk about something real for once.
You've probably driven behind a semi-truck hundreds of times without ever noticing this. This is there to save your life, and the origin of how it got there is incredibly gruesome and tragic. Actress Jane Mansfield, along with her lawyer Samuel Brody, her driver Ronald Harrison, and all 3 of her children were riding along Highway 90 in Louisiana around 2:25 a.m. They had been on their way to New Orleans, traveling all the way from Mississippi, where Jane had a televised appearance scheduled for the following day. But as they were driving along, a semi-truck in front of them suddenly slammed on their brakes. The driver of the truck had come up on a machine spraying a thick white fog to kill mosquitoes in the area. When he suddenly slowed, Jane's driver Ronald drove into the back of the semi at a high rate of speed. As the 1966 Buick Electra slid underneath the trailer, the top of it was violently crushed, killing all 3 adults inside. Early reports falsely claimed that they had all been decapitated, but this wasn't the case. Jane and her 2 companions had instead been immediately killed on impact. Because Jane's children had been lying down, sleeping in the back seat, they survived, but suffered minor injuries. One of the children in the back seat would grow up to become well-known Law and Order actress Mariska Hargitay. As a result of the devastating accident, a new safety protocol would be put in place. A metal bar later installed on the rear of semi-trucks to prevent smaller vehicles from sliding underneath in collisions. That bar would be named the Mansfield Bar in Jane's honor.
Holy shit. What the fuck? I heard a noise, and I came out here and this fucking door was open, and now it just shut by itself. What the fuck? Oh, I'm scared of my freaking mind. Jesus Christ. There's nobody up here.
There is no way this is Ghislaine Maxwell. This is the most recent photo of her released on Monday, February 9th, 2026. When you do a side-by-side comparison, the noses don't match, and either do the eyes. Looks like they've got the body double fitted with a cheap Amazon wig. When have we seen this before? Not only that, but the Friday before this picture was taken, New York Post conveniently got footage of Ghislaine Maxwell walking the yard in prison, and what do you know? They are now handing out umbrellas in jail. You know, to make sure her skin doesn't get damaged, or maybe so we don't see her face. The question now is, did she ever actually go to prison? She may have taken these photos in 2020, but the video from that same day seems to be somebody entirely different. So, what do you think? Did Ghislaine's appearance completely change in the last 6 years since she's been in prison?
100%,
Or did they
100%.
swap her out with a bad
It's not
body
her.
double?
Can't be.
As always, I want to hear down below.
The viral Annabelle clip I showed you guys a few days ago had people asking questions. I'm going to break it down a little bit and show you what you might need to look for. My friend Tracy sent me this video. It's so good, it's going to be on Paranormal Caught on Camera. This is wild. I really don't like telling people exactly where to look and what to look for because the power of persuasion is very real. But I will show this still image, and I drew an arrow in the area you need to watch. A lot of you guys said you've watched this video and you can't see what to watch for, so just watch this area. And also, at the beginning of the video, just a few seconds in, if you'll notice the camera, it glitches. That's the thing about paranormal. Electronic devices, phones, cameras, they malfunction a lot of times during paranormal, supernatural activity. Tell me in the comments if you see it. A lot of you guys say you don't, but thousands of people have. Check this out.
You heard that? I'm like, yeah. We actually played back the audio. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. So it was creepier than shit. So that was probably the most creepiest thing that ever happened. That was the chair. Yeah. You didn't hear words. Yeah. Yeah, the chair does that, and then make them more creepy. Yeah. I do it. Don't be crazy. You're so protected. You know how the sheet you made, right? And the whole oils and the whole bed. So you are so inside the tube. So that's dream that.
Hold on, so let me get this straight. Vampires are real, time travel is real, aliens are real, our country is ran by pedophiles, we ain't never been to space, the Matrix is real, we live in the Matrix, and everybody that's rich and famous and got some power worship the devil. Got it.
Do you ever see a picture that just makes your stomach drop? Discovered inside a hidden lockbox after her grandfather passed away. The woman who found it, Regina George, she's staring at the image, wondering the same thing you are. There's something just off about this picture. At first, she was almost certain this showed the staircase of her family home, but she couldn't quite understand what this thing was in the middle until she enhanced the photo. Hauntingly clear image of what looks like a woman dragging herself up those stairs. Regina handed the photo to the police, and it took them 6 months, but the experts say this was most likely evidence of a woman that was held captive and tortured. With her grandfather already passed, no one would ever know who she was or what happened to her.
This is one of the eeriest images that I have found in the Epstein files so far. So as you can see, well, there's the file number down there if you care to look it up. This image is depicting a man very eerily grinning and staring at the camera while holding somebody's permanent residence card. But who is the person depicted on that card? Well, it is Epstein's one-time girlfriend, the girlfriend he had before his death, Karina Shuliak. Karina is kind of an infamous player in this story. She was left a significant amount of money and a significant chunk of Epstein's estate after he died, if you believe that he died. And obviously, Karina is seen all over the files. Her presence is felt not only in the documents, but in so many of the pictures and images. And many people, including myself, believe that it would have been hard for someone like Karina to have existed in the Epstein world, in Epstein's orbit, and obviously have been dating him and not have had any sort of a clue or inkling that Epstein was actively trafficking young women. Obviously, Karina should be brought in and investigated by not only the FBI, but the DOJ or whatever agency handles this investigation. But to my knowledge, I don't think they've really done that yet. They may have talked to her after Epstein died, but I don't think they've ever grilled Karina and really tried to figure out what she knows. But regardless, that still leaves us with this question. Who is this guy? Why is this guy holding Karina's card? Why is he smiling like that? And why is he staring at the camera so menacingly and so creepily? Well, I don't know. If you guys have any ideas as to who this individual may be, please let me know in the comment section because I am compiling all of this information into a file and a document. This really stuck out to me when I first came across this image / it was so unbelievably spooky. And this image had a really weird, really bad aura.
Are you worried about the Doomsday dice roller? So they made this about 75 years ago, and then 17 witches put a curse on it, and they said the time that you roll all of these dice and they all land on one, snake eyes is what they said. They said there'll be 4 months left until the end of the world. And so they've been rolling it once a day. And every day, of course, like there's a bunch of different dice rolls. Well, yesterday, they finally came out and they all landed on one. So a lot of people are freaking out saying, does this mean the end of the world is nigh? And others are saying, this is dumb, stupid. It's just a coincidence. So I'm curious what you think.
Have you seen the clean girl on TikTok? The one that cleans graves? So there was one where this is the grave and then a teddy bear was on it. And then we know like, oh, if an inanimate object is somewhere and it's surrounded by spirits, the spirits would usually jump into the object,
teddy bear,
right?
yeah.
So she was like, okay, the teddy bear and all the toys around it are dirty. So she took the teddy bear home, literally cleaned it and returned it. So she put it back, right? And in one of the videos, she put the shovel in the ground. And you can see, I'll just demonstrate it. It went like this.
Ooh.
But she didn't see it because she was cleaning the grave. But the shovel was behind her. And then there was another one where there was a plant box and there was plants in it. And the roses, she didn't see this also. It jumped out of the plant box. And after that video, she didn't clean no graves again. People were saying, oh, there's so much weird things happening to you behind you and you don't notice this.
Damn.
Crazy.
It's interesting. It's probably a child because it's a teddy bear, right?
Yeah. You ever wonder what's really inside these colors? Come on. Lean in a little closer and take a good, hard look. This ain't cereal, this is straight up sugar sludge. Look at it melt. Yuck. You guys really eat this stuff?
I don't.
Red 40, yellow 5, blue 1, all churning in my gut. And you all just feed this for your kids? And you wonder why they are losing their minds. They call this natural flavors. Ha ha. Bro, there is nothing natural about this chemical cocktail. This is supposed to be corn? Nah, bro. This is chemicals pretending to be corn. This is getting crazy. They brag about using whole grain, but it's hollow, bro. There isn't anything whole going on here. Go on, read it out loud. Nasty, right? Breakfast of champions, my ass.
If you never changed your underwear, minute 0, you think, what's the big deal? The fabric is clean, there's no smell, my skin feels fine, and your brain registers no danger. By hour 12, sweat soaks into the fabric, turning it into a damp sponge where bacteria multiply like they've found an endless buffet, though for now it's just a faint odor. By day 3, the smell strengthens, friction increases, dried sweat salts stiffen the material, and your skin reddens as if rubbed with sandpaper. Itching begins, signaling that your microflora is losing balance. By week 2, bacteria and fungi thrive, inflammation, rashes, and painful cracks appear, and every step feels like a tiny needle, while your immune system focuses on this local battle. By month 2, infection can penetrate deeper through small skin breaks, opening the door to serious soft tissue inflammation with fever, weakness, and escalating pain. After 6 months of constant irritation and infection, chronic complications may develop. Inflammation can affect blood vessels, circulation becomes impaired, tissues are deprived of oxygen, and in extreme untreated cases, severe damage could threaten the limbs themselves.
This is the most random thing to come out of the Epstein files. So apparently Epstein was permanently banned from Xbox Live. He was banned for threatening people, verbal abuse, profanity, griefing, extortion, manipulation, any of these things. I can't believe Microsoft moved on this dude when the government didn't.
Baby massage training was included in the Epstein files. Baby massage training. Weird of you to include that. You redacted everything else? Are we not angry enough? This is my driver. You want to see how freaking angry I am? Let me try to just channel my zen.
POV. You got stuck on a crane hook while in a storm. Guys, please help.
A principal and his graduating class of what I'm assuming is a small Christian school is rehearsing graduation. Now they're taping the rehearsal when something really strange happens. Just watch.
Broken ankles the night before graduation. So then we're going to talk about individual accomplishments a little bit, and we're going to move you off to the side before there's no starts of this. But just an air pressure, or was that a friendly ghost, Mr. Baker? Thank you, sir.
The principal even jokingly said, was that air pressure or was that a little friendly ghost? But the auditorium doors swing open and then the light starts flickering on and off outside. Now, all in all, they ignore this, continue their rehearsal, but this happens not once, but twice. Watch.
You guys have a conclusion. Everybody should give us their thing. I must have an open door somewhere else in the building, blowing that open.
Now again, the principal blows it off its air pressure. They continue practicing their rehearsals. A few students make it across the stage. Now pay attention to the second student with the glasses. Because he stands in his position. The next student comes across, but watch.
Yes. And
The second student's cap flies off of his head. And not just that, the camera glitches out and freezes. Now, are we going to chalk all of this up to coincidence? Or is
Yo, were we right about JonBenet Ramsey and Epstein? Because it kind of seems like we were. I freaking love the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, the internet, because somebody figured out that the Wayback Machine has this photo unredacted from like 2014 when it was taken. And in this photo, you can see the little girl's face. And though I will admit it's not 100% definitive because the angle's terrible and the quality's terrible, but that looks like JonBenet Ramsey. Here's a little bit more zoomed in version for you guys. And there's a Substack online. You can find these photos. If you just literally type in JonBenet Ramsey Epstein photo, it'll pop up. And here is a further zoomed in photo. And I just got to ask, is that JonBenet? That looks like JonBenet.
The hell do you mean we, yes, we are all in the Epstein files? So do you remember as a kid, right? When they would come and take your school photos and you would have to smile and dress up all good? Yeah, they were selling that stuff to Epstein. And I don't know if this is true, so don't quote me, but I just seen a video of a creator talking about this. And now I'm like, what? So you're telling me when I was going to school with the fresh cut, fresh clothes on, I was being used as gooning material? They were trading my photos like Pokemon cards? Send this to your friends.
Schools across the country are canceling Picture Day as it's been revealed that the company that takes all the photos is very tied to the Epstein files, and there's fears Epstein had all those child photos.
Your yearbook photo in school was taken by this man who has just been caught up in the file. This is Leon Black, who's the owner of Lifetouch, the nation's biggest yearbook photography company. And as it turns out, Leon Black is caught up all with Jeffrey. In 2002, Jeffrey Epstein executed a handoff to Leon Black, and it was a human being. The human being was a 16-year-old who was autistic, and Jeffrey said she was going to give his special friend Leon Black the same kind of massage that she had given Jeffrey. When Leon Black grabbed her hand, it was so hard she thought he broke her bones, and Jeffrey knew that she would never obey. Black then took her to the 3rd floor of the townhouse, and you know what? I'm not going to read the rest. And the other things that he did behind me that I have to block out have stuff to do with people under 10. And here are $1 million transactions between Jeffrey and Black that we just don't know what they're for. So when you were in school and realized that Picture Day is coming and had any of these background, this man collected a database of over 1 billion photos over decades.
As I told you guys in the beginning, our pictures from Picture Day appeared to be in the Epstein files. Like I said, you and I are both in the Epstein files. Going off of what this guy just said, that these pictures are stored in a database, where is this database? Who has access to it? What were they doing with said pictures? This took a really dark turn. Something so innocent, something that we used to get excited for, going to school to take pictures, now has a darker meaning to it. That picture that is also in your yearbook was used for darker things. That is super disgusting.
What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Lil D. You thought these little heart cakes was cute? Nah, baby, these things toxic as hell. Haha.
This ain't love, y'all. This straight up sugar, syrup, and regret packed in a box. Y'all don't care though, right?
Y'all, these things be filled with high fructose corn syrup and fake flavor, and y'all call this romance? People be straight up tweaking for these.
And that red ain't love, y'all. That's fake dye. Straight up chemicals making it look cute for you. Open up, baby.
Oils, preservatives. This cake gonna last longer than your last relationship. And y'all still gonna eat it though.
Y'all eat one, then another, then the whole damn box gone. Yeah, that ain't by accident.
You go on ahead, y'all. Fall in love with it. Just don't cry about it when it mess your ass up.
In 2015, a woman fell from the window at his apartment. He said that she was a woman staying in a homeless shelter that he was helping.
What?
Now her family spoke out for the first time and said, like, we have never heard that she was in a homeless shelter ever. Now it's coming out a decade later that she was like a struggling hip hop artist, that David was helping her with her career, that as far as the family knows, she had never once like stayed in a shelter. So like, it's like, why would you say that?
Yeah, really weird tidbit.
Let's take a quick pause. If you're still watching, thank you. It genuinely means you're paying attention. Do me a favor, comment right now what video has messed with you the most so far. Hit the like button while you're down there as well. It helps push the video to other people to watch. If you enjoy going down these rabbit holes, hit the subscribe button because there's many more of these videos to come. All right, that's it. No more distractions. Let's get back to it.
How old were you when you learned that on September 11th at 5 p.m. 2001, someone tried to trademark the term September 11th while they were still clearing out buildings and looking for people? So any documentary, any news channel, any t-shirt that had the phrase September 11th on it, he would be able to make money on it. And guess what his name was? Guess what his name? Guess. Modi Schneiberg. Do I even have to say it anymore? Do I even...
Jeffrey Epstein was the owner of 2 Incorporated. 2 Incorporated is the Limited 2, Justice Clothing.
That ownership came from Les Wexner, who owns
everything,
you know, including Victoria's Secret. Les Wexner gave Jeffrey Epstein this corporation. But why?
Kids who remember their past lives. From a young age, Jamie had a fear of water. He would constantly wake up from nightmares. And by the time Jamie was talking, he would wake up from them nightmares and he would say, "I've drowned again." He would also wake up and say things like, mistakes were made and them men shouldn't have been trapped in there. By the time Jamie had reached 5, he had become obsessed with the Titanic. He would draw pictures of the ship and it's sinking. He would even go into detail of the layout of the boat. His parents decided to take him to a Titanic museum, and this is where it got weird. By the way, if you like these type of videos, please follow if you aren't already. Hit the repost, hit the like button, and show the page some love. Okay, so they took him to the Titanic museum, and they found something interesting. Jamie was very drawn to a certain photo. This photo was of a man. The man was Thomas Andrews. Thomas Andrews was a chief designer of the Titanic. He was also one of the last people off the Titanic. He was the person who was handing out lifeboats. He was getting people to safety. He was shotting out deck chairs so people could use them as floats. He sacrificed his own life to try and save others. And Thomas's body was never recovered. Jamie was getting upset at this photograph of Thomas, and they all went home. A few nights later, Jamie had another nightmare, but this was different. Jamie's mother said she was woken up to him screaming during the night, so she ran in there. She found Jamie on all fours on his bed. She claims he was screaming and shouting, "She's going down, she's going down." But she also states that the voice coming out of Jamie didn't sound like Jamie. It sounded like an older male. From that night on, Jamie's memories became distant. He spoke about the Titanic less and less. No more drawings. But even now as an adult, Jamie still believes that he is the reincarnation of Thomas Andrew. It's so weird. Do you want to see?
This woman claims that this is proof that there are non-humans walking amongst us. Now, I don't say that lightly, like there could be another explanation, but this is pretty freaking weird. Now, you remember in the movie They Live when they put on the sunglasses and they could see the reptilian-y people who are amongst the normal humans? And you know how that movie might have been made about Dicenian goggles, the goggles you put on that can see people's auras, but some people don't have auras because they might not be people? Well, this woman goes to Buckingham Palace, okay? She's in Europe. She's in England. She's using a thermal camera and looking at all kinds of normal people exhibiting a heat signature until she goes in front of Buckingham Palace. She turns around and films the front guards on this side of the gate, and they have a heat signature. But the 2 guards at the inner gate that goes into Buckingham Palace, in a second I zoom it in and you'll see, they don't have a heat signature, dude. And keep watching because this is extremely bizarre. You'd think someone said, well, their clothes are thick, so you wouldn't be able to see because of their clothes. But look at these 2 guys on either side of the door. No heat signature on their faces. You'd think for sure if it's picking up the heat signature of this light, should pick up their face. So now last I checked, reptiles are cold-blooded and have less of a heat signature. I'm just saying, should we get thermal cameras and check things out? Now, according to Google's AI, there is no scientific evidence confirming aliens live among us. As if you'd be waiting around for the science to be settled on that. Dude, by the way, aliens, schmalians, just know if there is any non-human entities out there, they're not from space or through any firmament, okay? They're from other lands. They would be from other lands outside of the ice wall, which I can't wait to explore once human freedom is restored. That being said, could there be other creatures from other realms around us? Honestly, from all the rabbit holes I've been down and how many deceptions we've been deceived by and all the stuff that we've been fooled about, I would definitely imagine that is not too crazy of a thought for me to entertain. Now, do we know there's multidimensional entities around us? Yes. Do they harvest low vibrational frequency emotions? Yes. Is that why you should be extremely positive all the time? That's one of the reasons. Yes. Flip the brainwave state into everything that happens to you is good and everything that is happening is for the better, and it will completely change your reality. And you literally do not need to take my word for that. Try it for 4 days and watch what blessings appear into your life. Oh, and before you ask for anything more, first make sure you are mentioning how
many Oreos does it take to end you? Pack 1, pure bliss. The cream is smooth, the crunch is perfect. Sugar floods your brain and you smile. You twist another one open. Pack 5, your heart starts racing. Your hands shake slightly. The sweetness feels too good. You cannot stop eating. Your body wants more. Pack 15, your mouth is coated thick. It feels like paste. The sugar makes you sweat. Your stomach bloats hard like a balloon. Water does not help anymore. Pack 30, you feel sick. Your vision goes blurry. Your pancreas is burning out trying to make insulin. You are shaking violently now. Pack 50, your blood turns thick like syrup. Your cells stop listening to insulin. You are extremely thirsty, but you cannot drink. Your kidneys are drowning. Pack 80, the chocolate sludge clogs your intestines. You cannot move at all. Your skin goes cold and clammy. You start bleeding internally. The cream mixes with blood. Pack 100, your heart beats wrong. It skips. It pounds. Then it skips again. You slip into a coma. Everything goes dark. Pack 136, your liver shuts down first. Then your kidneys stop completely. The sugar has crystallized in your veins. Your stomach ruptures. Game over.
I could not imagine eating that many Oreos. Me personally, after one pack, my body would be at the stage that you're showing pack 30 would be at for other people. After one singular Oreo, I am done. Imagine eating 30 plus packs.
There's an urban legend about this that you can't take a clear picture of it.
That's just true.
Yeah, the long-standing urban legend. This actually would have been moved from the Channing Street grounds. That's how old this is. But stories say that before it got moved here, it went to Rome because they wanted to study the architecture of it.
What? Really?
Yeah,
What, the
they love
headstone?
the architecture. There are other stories that say the Pope at the time may have also blessed it before it came back here.
He was on the night shift doing a bunch of stock work when he started hearing this mysterious tapping noise. He started wandering through the building trying to find out where this tapping was coming from, and the tapping got louder the closer he got to the basement stairs. He nervously walked down the steps and couldn't find the light switch anywhere. And as soon as his eyes adjusted to the dark, he saw a dark figure standing in the far corner, tapping its finger against the wall, just staring at him. So he ran up the stairs right away and went to tell the other 2 employees that were also working the night shift, and they told him to never follow the tapping and that that's happened to them before. They said that if you ever hear tapping, just ignore it. Don't follow it. And it says after that night he quit because he was just too afraid, and I don't blame him at all. That's terrifying.
People think danger only exists where people are supposed to be. That's the mistake. Here's a warning people ignore. If you're inside a place that isn't meant for long stays and you hear footsteps that don't echo the way yours do, don't try to match them. Unnatural spaces change sound on purpose. This happened to workers inside a decommissioned subway surface tunnel. Not a platform, not a station, a maintenance corridor that never shows up on maps. Rule 1, if the lights flicker behind you but stay solid ahead, do not turn around. Those systems fail forward, not backwards. People who kept walking noticed the same thing. The tunnel stopped dripping. No water, no vibration from the trains above, just silence that felt sealed. Rule 2, if you pass a door marked access that you don't remember passing before, don't open it. Unlisted doors aren't storage, they're shortcuts. Some people did stop. They said the floor felt softer near the door, like it had been recently walked over recently. Not dirty, pressed. Rule 3, if your radio crackles but no voice comes through, don't respond. That sound means someone keyed in and let go, just to see if you were listening. The ones who made it out all realized the same thing too late. The tunnel never trapped them physically. It narrowed their choices. Forward stayed open, but backward stopped making sense. And the warning ends like this. If you finally exit into the daylight and notice your watch is exactly 8 minutes fast, don't adjust it. Because whatever shares those tunnels don't follow surface time. It only needed to learn how long you'll keep walking before you admit you're somewhere humans are supposed to live.
As I was searching through the Epstein files, I came across some incredibly strange imagery, including memes like this that depict Jeffrey Epstein with filters, Snapchat filters on his face. I don't know the context of these images. I don't know why they were in the files, but It was very interesting to see. I mean, there are literal what appear to be memes generated by, I'm assuming, maybe survivors or friends of Epstein's that can be found within the Epstein files themselves. Like here in this image where we see the Grinch compared to Jeffrey Epstein, the two of them making similar facial expressions, I guess. Now, as y'all know, there are millions of files and millions of images and emails and messages. So every single day we are finding new information, we are finding new imagery, new videos. But to me, these images paint this story out in a completely different kind of strange light almost. I mean, I've made images like this of people like my parents, of friends, especially back in the day when I was younger. I would make little collages like this all the time for those that I love. So to me, this reminds me of something that a victim would have made. Same here. I also don't know the context of an image like this, but this seems to have been something that a young person would have generated of Jeffrey. And then obviously, yeah, it ended up here, screenshotted and in the files. I'm going to keep you guys updated as I continue this odyssey, but follow along for more.
These are photos with disturbing backstories. First Lady Rosalind Carter shaking hands with a man thought to be a volunteer. That man turned out to be serial killer John Wayne Gacy. This photo shows Jolie Callan standing on a cliff with her ex-boyfriend, completely unaware that he was about to end her life and push her off of it. This picture captures David A. Johnston sitting in a chair observing volcanic activity at Mount St. Helens. Just hours later, the volcano would erupt, ending his life. Robert Overacker was captured riding a jet ski toward Niagara Falls, unaware that his parachute wouldn't deploy and that he would fall to his death. Taken in 1945, this photo shows Arnold Agnew holding a small metal object in his hand, the very core of the atomic bomb that would destroy the city of Nagasaki. A disturbing photo of a World War I soldier experiencing shell shock after suffering through the absolute horrors of trench warfare.
There's weird stuff going on with the $2 bill. If you have $2 bills, even if you know anyone with a $2 bill, I want you to save this video so you can come back, because somewhat recently, the back of the $2 bill changed to look like this. During that whole process, they actually messed up a couple of $2 bills. These $2 bills that were messed up had this little back part. Well, they got error printed onto the front of the bill as well. As you can see, this bill has ink on both sides of the bill. $2 bills are being found like this now, and people have no idea what went wrong. You would assume that the mint just made a mistake and printed the bill wrong, but it's really rare for the mint to release those mistakes into the wild. What's cool is our shop recently received a lot of these $2 bills, and we've stacked them below for you guys to pick out. If you see them attached, we have some left, meaning if you want like a rare $2 bill, you can pick one up right now. It's rare that I ever even sell anything. Most of the time I'm just telling y'all about coins and bill stuff, but this is just such a rare opportunity I had to share it. And to think you only knew you could buy this kind of thing because you follow me for more build stuff.
So Britney Spears owned this house, believed it was haunted, and sold it with everything still inside to Brittany Murphy, who would then go on to die inside of the house. Maybe this is all just coincidence, but it's still incredibly eerie when you hear the full story. So this is the mansion that Britney Spears moved into in 2001. And according to Britney's former makeup artist, during the time that she was living there, she had some type of spiritual transformation and invited someone over who claimed to be a spiritual healer. But after this supposed spiritual healer left, something didn't feel right to her. Britney told her former makeup artist that she thought the spiritual healer may have opened some type of portal, and she claimed that there were evil spirits inside of the house trying to harm her by doing things like pushing her down the stairs. The entire situation scared Britney so badly that she left the home immediately and never returned. She then sold the house along with everything inside of it to Brittany Murphy, who would then go on to die in that house under very suspicious circumstances. Her husband Simon would also die 5 months after her in the same room. Now, after Britney's death, Simon gave an interview stating that his wife tried to avoid the house at all costs. He said that he felt that maybe the property was unlucky, and before her death, he had planned to move his wife and his mother to New York City. Then, after Simon's death, his mother was quoted saying, All I know is that before Simon's death, he was having hallucinations that things were crawling out of his skin. Now, a lot of people believe that this can all be attributed to toxic mold poisoning. Maybe the home was filled with black mold, which, when exposed to for a prolonged period of time, can cause hallucinations, paranoia, insomnia. It can also cause breathing problems. And the ultimate cause of Brittany and Simon's death was listed as community-acquired pneumonia. But the coroner's office said that toxic mold wasn't the case. They instead said that Brittany's death was due to an iron deficiency and intoxication from prescription medications, which likely weakened her immune system and then led to a fatal bacterial infection. Simon's cause of death was nearly identical. So if this was the case, was Britney Spears right? Was there something unexplainable inside of that house?
So I came across this interview of this famous Mexican actress. Her name is Maria Felix, and somehow this is tied to the files. I believe in some of the files they mentioned a location in Morocco, and during the filming of this movie called La Corona Negra, they were filming this in Morocco. She got invited to a house, right? And she said that they were having dinner, and she asked, "Yo, what is this? What are we eating? It's very, very delicious. It tastes very sweet. I've never had this before. What is this meat?" And they straight up told her it was human meat. Yeah, you're eating human meat.
Yo comí carne humana una vez, pero de verdad.
Ah, María.
Yo comí carne humana y Quique y yo comimos carne humana en un lugar en el Marruecos español que se llamaba, una ciudad que se llama Chauen.
Estaban filmando una película.
Estábamos filmando La Corona Negra. Y nos invitó, uno de esos moros notables nos invitó, y este tipo le gustaba comer carne humana, pero yo no lo sabía, y nos dio a comer. A mí me gustó, era una cosa como dulzona, una carne extraña, y pregunté, y así me dijeron, carne humana, pero no voluntariamente.
¿Cómo te sentiste? ¿Qué era carne de qué? ¿De hombre, de mujer, de qué?
No quise preguntar, oye, ya eso ahí ya no.
And there's a lot of like conspiracies revolving around that actress, like saying that like the regular stuff, like, oh, she sold her soul to the devil. She's basically known for like consuming this weird blood coming from overseas.
Weird blood?
She never specifies what it is, but she says that that's how she keeps herself young and looking beautiful. This, yeah. You know what that is?
Nah, what is that?
A brujo talked about this shit, right? When you sacrifice you're supposed to implement so much fear into the child that they release adrenaline. So when the adrenaline and the fear is rushing through their veins, they the child, and then that's when basically the blood tastes the best. It's like some sort of drug, because when you consume it, it's like you're consuming the life energy of the child. Bro, like Pennywise, he fucking says fear is the seasoning. Fear is what makes it taste good.
This is the dark reason you shouldn't sleep with mirrors in your room.
You will not have a mirror in the bedroom where you sleep anymore.
Why do you not like mirrors?
There are lots of reasons. When you look back at Victorian mourning period, specifically, you stop your clocks, you cover your mirrors. And why? Because you don't want the spirits to get trapped.
Trapped where?
In the mirror. It's believed it is a vortex, that things can come through and things can get trapped in. If you are in a dark room and you're looking in a mirror, if you look long enough, it is said that you can see things moving on the other side.
I've heard this.
And once you know that those things are there, they will notice you.
Oh, shit.
I had a bed that had a mirror on the headboard. I laid down to go to sleep, but I woke up because something slapped me across the face. I was alone.
You think something from the mirror?
I mean, I don't know where else it would have come from. You let something slap you across the face and wake you up and find out.
Did you know that Michael Jackson's pet chimp Bubbles is still alive and thriving in 2026? Bubbles is no longer a baby chimp anymore, as he is currently 200 pounds and over 40 years old now. Bubbles has been retired since 2005 and is currently being taken care of at the Center of Great Apes in Florida. Bubbles enjoys hanging out with his chimp friends, but has also really gotten into painting. All of Bubbles' paintings are made with non-toxic paint that is safe for chimps, and a lot of his artwork is actually sold at art galleries. Apparently, one of his most expensive paintings was sold for $2,500. And to this day, the Michael Jackson estate still pays $30,000 to make sure Bubbles is taken care of and has a happy life. Bubbles, we love you, buddy, and I'm sure he would appreciate it if we supported his paintings and his artwork. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a follow, because I post content just like this
Given all the stuff that's happened recently, maybe we should talk about why the Illuminati is actually on the dollar bill. Especially since old dollar bills don't have the Illuminati on it. This is new. I want you to save this video, because if you've noticed the Illuminati in a lot of television, movies, and media, it might weird you out to wonder why on earth it is on the American $1 bill. Well, believe it or not, this is actually not the Illuminati. Although a lot of the iconography that the Illuminati uses is really similar, technically that eyeball is considered the Eye of Providence. Essentially, it's God watching over us. Paintings like the one behind me have showcased this image being used for hundreds of years before we put it on the dollar bill. And the pyramid is there just to showcase that we always have more to build. We're not perfect quite yet, and we can always do better. But if you find a dollar bill that doesn't have this Illuminati or Eye of Providence on it, it's actually a pretty old, valuable bill called a funny back. And these can be worth like $30 or $40 for just one bill that doesn't have that weird triangle thing. And to think you only knew to look out for that kind of stuff because you follow me for more bill stuff just like
This is the only reincarnation case scientists still refuse to explain. In 1956, in the small town of Redwood Hollow, England, a family lost their two young daughters, Emily and Grace, in a tragic car accident. Their parents were devastated. Months passed, then a year, and life slowly returned to normal. Until 1958, when the mother gave birth to twin girls. From the moment the twins could speak, things weren't normal. At age 3, one of them pointed to a birthmark on her knee and said, "This is where the car hit me." The other twin refused to sleep without the lights on, saying, "The man in the car comes back when it's dark." The parents were horrified. They had never spoken about the accident in front of the twins, but things got even stranger. The twins began asking for toys they had never seen, toys that belonged to Emily and Grace. They described their old schoolyard perfectly. Whenever the family got in the car, the twins quietly took the same two spots, the ones their sisters preferred, long before the accident. Desperate for answers, the parents took them back to their old village.
Check this dude's hard drive. This is the one and only figure in the entire United States, in the entire House of Representatives, who voted against releasing the Epstein files. Here's a really funny post from last year where he's posting his Israeli Defense Forces hat. "I stand with Israel." Yeah, you stand with traffickers. You stand with all that, bro. Even after Donald Trump himself told Republicans, vote for it. I have nothing to hide. You still wanted to hide it? What are you doing? This is the most obvious self-report I have ever seen.
So a YouTuber who goes by the name of Labcoats has allegedly released a chemically identical recipe for Coca-Cola. And this is what the duplicate recipe actually looks like. It has carbonated water, sugar, flavor solution A and flavor solution B. There's a dilute of the following oils here using a 95% ethanol mixture. Then you dilute that oil mixture using water, add some caramel color, phosphoric acid, vinegar, vanilla extracts, and some wine tannins, and a little bit of caffeine. So my question to you guys is, would you try the Lab Cola, or are you gonna stay with the traditional Coca-Cola? Let me know in the comments below, and follow me for more interesting.
What is that, and why are they eating it? 24 years as a chef, I've never seen chicken look like that. Why is it slightly pink? And why are billionaires flying to a private island to eat plain-looking chicken on a plate?
Simon Cowell, he had a weird-ass video talking about pizza, and everybody's looking into like, what the look.
Pizza Land, Pizza Margarita. Now, Pizza Land doesn't exist anymore. If anyone can find me the recipe, I'll pay you $1,000.
Oh, you bag what he's trying to say, right? Because they don't run the island anymore, but he still wants to.
He still wants to eat the pizza.
Eat the pizza.
Oh,
yo. That's crazy.
A lot of people know the pizza already. Why are they still doing it?
Why are they still doing it?
This was like before.
Oh, okay,
before
okay.
it's like popular.
Also, like, that's
when Ellen was still talking like the pizza
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
So that was still new.
It's still new. Like you seen those videos.
We love a pizza or what? We love a pizza. It's so good.
Parties are incredible at her house, too.
Yeah. She does have good parties, and she makes good pizza as well.
She makes great pizza,
Wonderful,
yes.
wonderful pizza.
Everybody made a certain kind of pizza.
There's no pizza we didn't love.
Something that he does. 5 different kinds or 6 different kinds of pizza that night. Clooney's was excellent.
Why is pizza like always featured in like children's cartoons?
Yo.
Every like popular kid show, they're always obsessed with pizza.
And they always make it look really tasty.
They're really tasty all the time.
Remember that episode of SpongeBob, the crusty crab pizza?
Yeah.
When they open the pizza and they're looking at it, it's like, oh,
is that the cheese?
Bro, and remember what I said? SpongeBob is low-key tied to the island too. Yeah. That makes sense.
Sure is a fine-looking pizza.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that the cheese?
Yeah.
And the pepperoni?
Yeah.
Oh, looks good, huh?
So the photo behind me is currently going viral after someone posted a photo of their roommate's moldy pasta onto Reddit. And based on the visual appearance of that fuzzy or hairy growth you see, it is most likely a mold that is called Rhizopus stolonifer, which is commonly known as black bread mold or a species of mucor. And I'm sure you're wondering how long it actually took for this mold to grow. And believe it or not, this mold can actually grow extremely fast. Under ideal conditions, room temperature, moisture, and a starch house like pasta, a growth like this can only take 2 to 4 days. And if the pot was kept in the refrigerator, it would be more like 5 to 7 days. And the hairs that you see on the pasta are actually called sporangiophores, and at the tip of each hair is a tiny black or gray speck, the sporangulum, which contains thousands of spores. And since the pasta is a dense carbohydrate, it provides the perfect fuel for these molds to spread aggressively once they take hold. And guys, if you see mold like this on your bread or pasta, do not sniff it or lean anywhere close to examine it. When easily disturbed, these molds can release spores that enter your respiratory system, causing irritation or allergic reactions. So it's best to cover the pot and dispose of the contents immediately. Still, it's a super interesting mold to look at, but definitely don't get close to it. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a follow because I post content just like this every single day.
We are watching Ghislaine Maxwell in her jail cell right now. And no, this isn't secretly recorded. She is being watched 24/7 by the US Department of Justice. Why are they watching her 24/7 inside of her jail cell? I think we all know why. The US Department of Justice is not only sharing this footage to let us know that she is very much alive and well, but also to remind all of us that she is about to testify in front of the House Oversight Committee. They are not only expecting her to talk, they are expecting her to finally tell the truth. Because now that thousands of photos, documents, and emails have been released, we know she's been lying. Take this photo behind me of the young Virginia Guffrey, who Ghislaine and Prince Andrew are both in, and they both claimed that this photo was a fake. In Maxwell's emails herself written to Jeffrey, she herself admitted that this picture not only was real, but that it was taken inside of her home before Virginia was assaulted. In fact, everything is proving what Virginia Guffrey has been saying to be the truth this entire time. Now they're hoping, thanks to the release of Jeffrey's will and testament, seeing how much he left his 30-year-old girlfriend and how little he left his at the time 58-year-old ex-girlfriend Ghislaine, she will see how little Jeffrey even truly cared for her, as she is serving decades behind bars for helping him. If you missed my video about this, in Jeffrey's will 2 days before he stops living, he left hundreds of millions of dollars to his at the time 30-year-old girlfriend, talking penthouses, apartments, his entire island. Yes, that island, along with a 33-carat ring and over 40 loose diamonds. What did he leave the woman who lost it all for him? He left her the same amount of money he left one of his pilots. Yes, one of his employees. All she would have gotten had his fortune not been taken to pay his victims was $10 million. A friend of his who he had only been friends with for a few years got $5 million. Now that not only her life has been taken from her, but she's also been humiliated in front of the world, we're about to see if that means she's going to stop lying and covering up for all of the monsters she has spent her entire life covering up.
So I'm here at the Chuck E. Cheese where the 5 kids went missing, and do you notice something? Well, folks, I finally uncovered the mystery of Charles Entertainment Cheese.